News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A mobile home fire has taken the life of a Missoula man. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Friday, January 20th, 2017. We have dense fog. As a matter of fact, there's a dense fog alert that continues until 8 o'clock this morning, until the morning commute is done. It is as thick as pea soup out there. People are actually driving around with their flashers on, I understand, just to let folks know that they're there. We have 32 degrees. It's exactly freezing, so roads are very slick, so please slow down, and don't forget to turn your lights off when you get where you're going. All right, our newscast this morning, sponsored by Western State Cat, where cat-branded antifreeze and DEF are 10% off. This morning's top story, at about 7:30 last night, Missoula Rural Fire responded to a mobile home structure fire at 4404 Mount Avenue. Chief Bill Caldwell said before crews arrived, it was reported that someone may have been in the trailer.
When they arrived, the house was fully engulfed. There was report that there was potentially someone inside. They did their size up and made the determination that an interior attack was not possible, and that if there was anyone inside, it was not a survivable environment.
At midnight, Chief Caldwell did confirm that a body was recovered from the mobile home that was burned last night. He said the male victim was alone in the structure when the fire started. The man's family is being notified before his name can be released. The cause of the fire still under investigation. The state of Montana has reached a $25 million settlement with more than 1,000 victims of asbestos-related disease over claims that health officials failed to bring attention to the hazards of a contaminated mine. The Flathead Beacon reported yesterday that the settlement stems from nearly 100 lawsuits brought against the state for failing to protect residents in the northwestern Montana town of Libby. Hundreds of people have been killed, thousands sickened by asbestos exposure from Libby's now shuttered W.R. Grayson Company vermiculite mine. The Montana Supreme Court overturned lower court rulings in 2004, ruling that the state should have warned minors of the dangers first identified by officials in the 1950s. Yesterday's settlement marks the end of a lengthy negotiation between victims and the state. University of Montana Interim President Sheila Stearns delivered her first State of the University speech yesterday. She began by praising staff and students for their achievements and discussed what the slogan, "We Are Montana," means.
What it really means to me, anyway, is the University of Montana is proud of our heritage, and we are particularly proud of our students and alumni. We are really resilient, I'm finding, in the face of these current challenges. We are skeptical, wisely so, about quick fixes, and we are fundamentally confident about our future.
The University of Montana has had some difficult years with declining enrollment and bitter debates over budget cuts. Stearns says projections for student population will not be as high as in the past.
That means being more conservative than we've been in the past, budgeting for, give or take, 11,000 students for the next 2 or 3 years, which is to me, it is not near our peak, but it's better than to budget for 12 or 13,000 and hope for that many, and then have to adjust at the last minute.
The fall 2016 enrollment was around 12,400, so a budget set at 11,000 is indeed very conservative. On Thursday, the board of the Missoula Redevelopment Agency approved a plan for the development of a $150 million project to transform what's called the Riverfront Triangle in downtown Missoula at the site of the old Fox Theater. I spoke with MRA Assistant Director Chris Behan last night as he described the scope of the project.
The Fox site itself will be about a 400-space parking structure under a large conference center, total gross square footage of about 39,000 square feet, and then a bedroom hotel above that. The whole riverfront triangle, everything down there from Broadway to the river west of Orange Street that's in this proposal is estimated to be somewhere above $150 million.
Behan said the conference center will be the linchpin that will bring major events and conferences to Missoula.
A regional class conference center for meetings and events that cannot be here now. The state's teachers convention, League of Cities and Towns can't meet here. They just don't have enough room. There'll be a huge impact. They're thinking on the order of about $14 million impact to the community per year, just from the conference center and hotel being there.
Behan said the agreement should be before the Missoula City Council in a few weeks, after which work will begin on other agreements related to the project. The full scope of the project is available through a link to the story on our website, naturally, on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. Missoula authorities are investigating a dead body that was found in Missoula's Miller Creek area yesterday morning. Sheriff's Office spokesperson Brenda Bassett has more.
Yeah, so our detectives were called out around 10:30. A woman here at the apartment complex had found a deceased adult female behind one of the apartment complexes. She called 911, and that's when our deputies arrived. They have secured the scene, and they're just beginning their investigation into the cause of death, and our coroner just arrived on scene about 20 minutes ago. So we'll know a lot more once they are able to start their investigation, and then hopefully be able to wrap it up today.
The age and identity of the woman have not yet been released. Her body was transported to the medical examiner's office about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. A Republican Senate leader is proposing to rebuke a state judge for changing the effective date of a voter-approved medical marijuana ballot initiative. The bill by Senate Majority Leader Fred Thomas is the second measure this session in which Republicans say the state judicial branch treaded on the legislature's turf. Last month, District Judge James Reynolds from Helena ruled a drafting error in the medical marijuana ballot initiative inadvertently delayed the effective date to July. He ruled the measure, which removed restrictions imposed by the legislature and allowed marijuana dispensaries to reopen, should be effective immediately. Thomas's bill, introduced yesterday, would make the voter-approved law effective immediately. But the bill says only the legislature can change a law, and the judge violated the constitutional separation of powers with that ruling. A small airplane made an emergency landing at Billings Logan International Airport after the landing gear malfunctioned. The twin-engine plane had taken off from Billings with a load of mail, but the plane's landing gear was not locking into place when the plane approached Sydney. Airport spokesman Shane Ketterling said the pilot decided to return to Billings for an emergency landing because the airport has better resources to deal with an emergency. The landing gear was partially deployed, and it collapsed when the plane touched down about 11:45 Thursday morning. The right wing dragged on the tarmac. The pilot was the only person on the plane. He was not injured. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Areas of dense fog this morning will give way to mostly cloudy skies as we head through the afternoon. Daytime highs will be in the mid-30s. Tonight, freezing fog again with our lows dropping into the teens. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.